Hello, it's Angela, and today I'd like to show you how easy it is to create a simple Valentine's card using the USBs from Trimcraft. These are under the first edition branding and they include lots of files on each one. It's about 40 on some of them, and with various themes. I'm going to be working with the basic shapes USB and also I think it's the romance and weddings one, or love and weddings, but I'll show you how I created this card. As you can see, it's got a shaped card base. This is where it folds, and we've got some simple elements on there. I've kept to a monochrome colour scheme and I've coloured the items on the screen just so that you can see it, but you don't need to do that when you're working on the card. That's just to make it easy to see. So I'm going to move that out of the way and I'll show you how I got to that point. Right, well, I started off with the card base, creating the card base, and for that I need to go to the Import SVG button. I am using a Brother scanning kit today, so I'm using the Canvas workspace. Now, mine might look different to yours because I'm using the online version, and I know there is now a desktop version, but I like the online one because it's the one I'm used to using. So, but the functions should all be the same, no matter what machine or software you're using. We're doing the same sort of very simple skills with it. So we're going to import the SVG first. So I'm going to click on the button and I'm going to go and choose my file. Now, I have my SVGs on the USBs here. This is the number. I'm using number 17, which I've double clicked it, and I'm going to press OK, and that brings the ticket shape in. As you can see, it's coming in black. That's okay, but I like it to be a bit easier to see. So I'm just going to change that. Just clicking this 3 lines here, which is the properties button. I'm just going to alter the colour, just so I can see it on the screen. I use the checkerboard for a see-through. Right, that's a bit better. Right, okay, so first of all we need to create the size of our card, and I'm thinking 5 by 7 is quite a standard size, and it will work with what I've done earlier. So first of all I'm going to go into the properties again, and I'm going to select the size. Now there's a maintain aspect ratio button. Now if you keep that ticked, whatever you do to one side will automatically create the aspect, the ratio will stay the same. So I'm going to make sure that is unchecked so that I can alter these. So I want the width to be 7 and the height to be 5, because we're going standard 5 by 7 or 7 by 5 card shape. And there we are. Now I want to duplicate this because we want the front and the back of our card. Now before I start doing anything with the joining, I'm going to duplicate it again and just move it to the side, because I'm going to use that to create my mats and layers later, and it's easier to do it before you start joining any shapes. So just a quick tip: if you're going to be welding or deleting or subtracting anything, just make a duplicate of your base shape just so that you've got it for later. You never know when you might need it. Right, okay, so I've got my front and my back shape, and I'm going to need to join them together. I'll just zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Now I'm just going to make sure I overlap these two shapes so they join, and I'm ready to weld them. Right, I'm going to join them. Now don't worry too much about these bits here where they're overhanging or not lining up. That doesn't matter at this moment. We just want to make sure that we're just coming over just a little bit, just so it joins. Now we're going to select both pieces and go into our edit button here. I'm going to click that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align these pieces so they do meet. I'm going to do it by selecting this centre button, which if you watch these sides it will bring them in. There we are. So we know we're perfectly aligned now. Our card will meet when it's folded in half. But before we do that, we need to actually join it together. So while they're still selected, or select them again, I'm going to right click on my mouse and select weld. And there we are. The card base is joined. That's our card. Just like it is over here. Look. Right, so we have that. And what I'm going to do next is just alter that so we can see a bit better on screen. Right, okay, so that's our card base. I'm going to pop that to a side, and you can add a score line in the scanning kit if you want. However, I prefer to manually score that on my scoreboard afterwards, just to make sure it lines up, and also for a nice neat, I like a nice neat edge across the top. But you do what you think looks best or works best for you. Right, okay, so we're going to work on the layers next, which are these ones here. And so I've got my original duplicate that I made earlier. I've selected that, and I'm going to go into the edit. Now this time I'm going to select the offset button, which is this thing here. It looks like a letter H there, but that's the offset. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to look at the spacing. Now I'm going to leave it at 0.2 inches, and I'm going to select an inward offset because I want the shape I'm creating to be smaller than the original. So it's going to be inward. Now just leaving all that alone, just leave it as is. Down here where it says round or bevel, I'm going to go for bevel. It doesn't make much difference which you do, it depends on the look you're going for, but I like the bevel look on this style of card, so I'm going bevel, and I'm going to click OK. So there we are, you can see now we have a matte and another matte. Right, so next is what am I going to do? Right, I'm going to create another matte, I think. Shall we have another one? Let's see, what size was that one? That was the black one, wasn't it? Right, so I need to create another layer. So if I change this one in here, in my colours, and I'm going to change that to black. So there we are, that makes it a little bit easier for me to see, doesn't it? Right, I'm just going to align those a minute. Right, so there we have it. We've got our white layer and we've got our black layer. And I'm going to create another white matte. So this time I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go back into the edit, and I'm going to click the offset button again, but this time I want a slightly different size. So I'm going to go to 0.16 there. Again, keep it inward, and again the original line is leave as is, and again bevel, just click OK. Right, now this one I'm going to change the colour just so it's easier for you to see on screen and me. I'm going to change it to white. Doesn't make any difference when you're cutting it really, it's just so I know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to select all three, click my edit button, and I'm going to use this centre, and click the edit button again, and then the middle, and you can see, look, the layers are all there. Right, so we have our card base, and we have our mattes and layers. So just move those over there. Next we're going to work on is the elements here. Now these are pretty simple, so we're going to go for our, what is it? That's it. The silhouette, that's what I'm looking for, the silhouette. Right, so I'm going to go into my SVG button here. I'm going to go into the choose file, and this time I'm going to look at Love and Wedding, and I'm going to select that one. Okay, yes, that's the one. Okay, so I can't remember if that's the right size or not. I think it is. Right, I think I'll just, if I ungroup that one, I can see what size. Yes, 2.97, 2.97, so that's the correct size. So there we are, that's all there is to that. That is the shape as it comes in. Right, next we're going to look at this, the lip section here. I'm going to select my SVG file for the lips, and that one is number 8 on the USB, Love and Weddings, and I'm just going to bring that one in now. Okay, and here it is. Now it's coming a bit bigger than what I want it to be, so I'm just going to adjust the size using the handles on the side of the shape, and yep, I think that's about right. And I'm just going to, oops, yeah, I think that's right now, and I'm just going to change the colour just so I can see it better on screen. I'm going to change it to red. Okay, and that's the lip section, that's all there is to that. Okay, so I'm going to pop it over there, and now we're going to work on this section here, which is the heartbeat and the love wording, and that is also on the USB Love and Weddings, and I'm looking for the heartbeat line, which is SVG number 18, and there it is. I brought it in and it's coming at the right size. Okay, and now I'm going to look for the love word handwritten. Okay, and we're going to import that one. It's number 15 anyway, and you can see it there. Okay, so I believe those are exactly the same size they came in at. Right, now here's the fun thing. We're going to just zoom in so we can see. Now in order to join this, you can see there's this section here and this section here. I'm going to move that up, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more just so I can see, and I'm going to do that so they're lined up. For this particular part, it doesn't help to use your edit to line up because obviously the words are different heights, and so just do it by eye, it's okay. Right, so now we've got that sort of join there, we're going to select both by drawing around with our mouse. We're going to right click and we're going to weld, and that will now create one line. Okay, so I'm just going to change the colour of that so I can see it better again. Now let's go for that one. Okay, so let's zoom back down. So here we have our elements. We have our card base. We have our mats and layers. And somewhere we have the lips, there they are. And we have our heartbeat. Now when you cut those out, you can decide your colour schemes. But I've actually kept the monochrome. I've used red glitter card for the lips, and I've used one of the new self-adhesive glitter cards from Trimcraft for the heartbeat line, because I thought it's got some thin sections and I thought it'd be nice. So basically that's it, that's your card, and I will show you the completed card later. If you've got any questions at all, do feel free to ask, and I'll do my best. Hello, it's Angela, and I'm back again to show you the rest of my Valentine's card make. I started out by using some shapes on the first edition USB sticks, and I created the design in my Canvas software, which is the software for the scan and cut. If you're using a Cricut, you'll be using Design Space, and check the earlier part of the video and I'll show you how I brought the shapes in and how I created the shaped card base. All I've done is taken the pieces off the mat, I manually scored this piece, and you can see it all ties up, all lines up there. So we have a shaped card base. For the panels, I created a black mat and the white panel, and all I've done here is I've just stuck the white one on top of the black one. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is add our elements. Right, earlier we cut the silhouette, so I'm just going to work out where I'm going to place that on my card, which is about here, I think. And we have the lips, which I cut from red glitter card, and I have the heartbeat, which I showed how I welded the heartbeat to the love word, so it's all one piece. And I've cut this from the new now it's the self-adhesive glitter card from Trimcraft. I think it could be under the Dovecraft branding. I think it's Dovecraft, and basically it's cut lovely on my scanning cut, as you can see. Quite a lot of cuts into there with the blade, and because it's self-adhesive, it's like a sticker, so that made it easier for me. So I thought, well, rather than sit there and cut it out, you could have cut it out of card or other glitter card, but then you've got to add glue to the back and mess about. I thought, we'll make it into a sticker, so we'll use the self-adhesive glitter card. So that's my logo, which is going to go along the bottom. Right, so basically we're just going to stick them on really easily. I think I'll start by putting the self-adhesive one on. So we're just going to remove the backing. Oh, that's a good sticky on there. Right, so we're going to stick this on here, and I'm thinking I'm going to go, I can line it up while I'm on camera, go about there,
just so it's coming over the end there, so it's joining. Right, I think that's in place. Right, I've got a bit of glitter on there. Just move that, that's off my red glitter card. Right, so that's it, that's simple. There we are. Right, so the next thing is we're going to add our silhouette of our couple. I'm just going to use a little bit of glue on the back of there, if my glue hasn't dried up. Hang on a minute. Couldn't get my glue going. Right. I like to use a clear drying glue, so you'll be able to do this a lot neater than I can while I'm on camera. But basically, that's our silhouette couple. And I'm just going to see if I can line that up here. Pop it there, I think. Right, that's in place. Okay, and the last bit is our lips logo here. So I'm going to add, this one I didn't do out of the double-sided, mainly because I haven't got any in red. If I had it in red, I would have cut it in red, but I didn't. So I've gone with the normal Dovecraft glitter card. Right, I'm just going to add this one here, just at a little jaunty angle. Okay, so that's our panel sorted. Easy, simple. Right, I'm going to add the panel to the card, and for that, you'll probably want to wait till your glue's dry, but I'm just going to go ahead for the sake of the camera and pop this on. Now you can glue this panel direct to the card, or you can do what I'm doing here and just mount it on some double-sided foam, just to add a little bit of depth to the design. So I'm just going to, I've broken a few nails, so I'm finding it a bit difficult to get the, and I've misplaced my pokey tool, which would have helped, of course. Right, okay, so that's the panel. Just tap up a little bit of loose glitter there. Right, okay. Now I'm going to line this up on here. I can see the centre. Okay, and there it is. That's our very easy, very simple to put together Valentine's card. Of course, it could be for other love occasions, engagements, whatever. You could personalise it. You could put some letters or monogram in there. You can cut from different colours, of course. I've gone with the monochrome and just a touch of the glitter in the colours there. Okay, so that's simple. If you're batch making cards, it's brilliant too, because you're just going to cut all your pieces on your mat, on your scan and cut, or your Cricut, or your silhouette, or your Sizzix even. The files are USBs and they're SVGs, so they'll work with all the major cutting machines out there. And you're going to be doing the same sort of things, the resizing, welding and cutting. We welded here the two elements to create the logo. So all machines, all the software will do that. Those are just basic commands really. So there's nothing too difficult. You can cut out a lot of these and then just assemble them at your leisure. You can see how quick and easy they are to assemble. Bit of glue, bit of tape, and there you go. That's it. Well, thanks for looking, and hopefully I'll bring you another simple card make at some point later today. Thank you. Bye.